Podcast 24. Back to basics.
Awaken the leader inside. Follow the path of leadership. Never give up. Never stop trying. Get up. Believe in yourself. Not every day is going to be easy, but you got to challenge yourself. You need courage. Be ready. Stop waiting for it to happen. Go make it happen. Harness the power within. You were destined to be a leader. Follow the path of leadership. Awaken the leader inside.
Podcast 24. Back to basics.
Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast episode. My name is David Rubalcava, and I'm your host here at Awaken the Leader Inside. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. And if this is your first time listening, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just want to let you guys know, as a reminder, we are on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and now on iHeartRadio. So today we are going to talk about something that I think is extremely important, and I think over time as we progress, it's a really good fundamental tool that we use, and I call it going back to basics. And if you've been in management or leadership roles for a while, it's something that you've probably heard, and it's actually really a tool to simplify and start over as you start to look for your leadership. And for those of you that are new leaders, it's a great foundational tool in how to build at least three simple steps that you can do right now that can help you kind of simplify what's happening in your leadership world and help you sharpen your focus on three things you can do immediately to help you gain insight to your leadership and what you can do to help yourself grow. So just as a quick reminder, I want to let you guys know that on our website, you can actually access our episodes by series. So everything on iTunes, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all that stuff, they are all listed chronologically from when I recorded them. But on the website, what I do is I group certain topics together and create series out of them. So like the 7 values of leadership, if you want to listen to accountability, if you want to listen to, something like that, then you can just log on to the website, click on the leadership podcast, or just hover over it and you can see the different series. Now, I think it's important right now that we go back to the foundation series. So there's a couple of episodes in there that would be great refreshers for those leaders that are struggling right now. And for those of you that are new leaders, there's some topics that we discuss in there that kind of give you insight of what it's like to be a leader, and also some pointers in there. But this episode is dedicated to you guys, those that are wanting to learn to become a new leader, and those who are struggling that kind of need to hit the reset button. So without further ado, we're going to move on to the show. Thank you so much for all the support. Keep the emails coming. I appreciate it. So we're going to talk about the first thing that you can do. The first thing that you can do is become objective. So if you're a new leader, this is by far the hardest thing to do. And I'm talking about be objective about where you're at in your career, what you think is holding you back in your career, what you're doing great in your career, and what you think you can do to change your situation. And being objective is being honest about your performance. And one of the most difficult things to be honest about is executing things. So we think effort versus execution. I think that was podcast 18. There's a big difference. So if you are not where you want to be right now, guys, if you're not in the role and you want to grow, especially as a new leader, and you want to become a leader, you're going to have to learn the most basic fundamental thing is being objective about your own performance. Now, the hard thing to do is to really be truthful about that. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a trick, okay? I want you to think about the last project that was given to you, the last major one. And how did you handle that? Did you execute it at a high level where you got a lot of accolade for it? Did you just get mediocre results? Or did you flat out fail? And the reason why we think about that is we know instantly when we didn't do something right, because that's usually the feedback that comes back. If you're getting a lot of feedback right now in your role that things aren't hitting cylinders. There's something that's holding you back. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit deeper in that as we progress to the next step. But I want you just to analyze where you're at right now and how do you think you're performing. All right. So the next thing is I want you to find a mentor. And there's a lot of people that I've met that are like, I don't need a mentor. And I ask them, so are you at where you want to be in your career? Well, no. What advice have you received from your peers, from anybody that is in that type of role? What kind of advice have they given you? Oh, I don't really ask for that. I don't want to hear it. Or they've given me advice that I'm not committed, or I'm not, and I just didn't want to hear it. That stuff happens all the time, you guys. And the reason why we find mentors is sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's hard to get feedback from your supervisor. If you have a great relationship, that's amazing. Not everybody always has a great relationship with their direct supervisor, unfortunately, or direct leader. But you can find someone. You can find a mentor. It doesn't even have to be in the same company. It doesn't even have to be in the same field. Guys, I've mentored people completely in different fields to help them. The field doesn't matter because leadership is universal. But find someone that you trust that can give you advice, real honest advice about leadership and your leadership specifically. It's difficult to do that, but I'm going to tell you what's the benefits of finding a mentor. The mentors, one, have skills that they've acquired to be successful. That's not questionable. They are in successful roles. They are doing things that you would like to be doing, or they're in fields that you would like to be in. Finding a mentor is important because just think of it this way. I'll just simplify it, guys. If you ever wanted to be a CEO of a company or build a company and you've never built one, chances are you're going to fail because you don't know what it takes to get there. You don't know what you don't know. That's the truth. And that's why it sometimes takes us a little bit longer to find success in our careers, in our lives, is because we don't know what we want. We don't know. Don't waste your time reinventing the wheel, guys. People know success, people know how to be successful, and people can share their insight in their journey to be successful. Take it, use it, because it can shave years off of your struggles. You guys have heard me talk about it. My first 4 years, struggled. Had I actually listened and used the mentor's advice, maybe it would have been a year. So I lost 3 years somehow, but that still helped me grow nonetheless. But the mentor is going to give you some advice. And honestly, you're going to be a little uncomfortable sometimes. That's why it's so important to find someone that you trust, because it's harder to be defensive when it's someone that you know genuinely concerns about your well-being and you becoming successful. They're going to be honest with you. There's nothing to gain from telling you the truth, right? So take it for what it's worth. Find a mentor, reach out to. If you want me to be your mentor, shoot me an email, david@awakentheleaderinside.com, and I can give you some advice. I can point you in the right direction, but reach out to somebody that has knowledge of the position or the role that you want to go in or has years of experience. Reach out to them, find them, because they will give you valuable insight. You can find a mentor within less than a week. Well, probably within less than a day, honestly, but I'm going to give you a week. All right. Reach out to someone who you admire that is successful and ask for advice. And they will ask you about your own leadership. They will ask you, just like I'll ask you, how do you feel about your career? How do you feel about what's holding you back? So that's why it's so important to be objective, like in step 1. Start that now. Now, the third step that you can do to help you start to open the doors for yourself is creating your own opportunities. Now, I try to explain this to quite a few people, and sometimes it's difficult to understand. So I'm going to simplify it. The easiest way to create a door for you, at least initially, is to share your intent. Share your intent with your leader, direct supervisor, saying, hey, you know what? Hey, James, can I take a minute of your time? I just want to let you know, I want to grow. with this company. I want to go into a leadership role. I want to go into the next department. I want to go into, that role because I think I can make a difference. Share your intent. It seems so simple, right? But I'm going to tell you, 80% of associates never, ever say that. And I'm going to tell you, I've had a lot come to me and talk to me, and I'm going to be honest, sometimes I'm actually surprised. Wow, I didn't know. Had I known that a year ago, I probably would have promoted you. I didn't know. So you can't assume that just because you work hard, just because you're working hard every day, that someone's going to notice and assume that you want to go next level. No, you need to declare that and share that with your direct supervisor and say, hey, I'm interested. I want to do more. What can I do? Now, I want you to be prepared for what's going to happen next, because I can tell you what's going to happen next. It's going to be like, okay, David, have a seat. Let's talk about it. So tell me why you're interested in this. Tell me what you want to do with your career. What have you been doing to help yourself grow? They're going to start to ask you questions, and then the time is going to come that they're going to share feedback and their perception of your leadership. And if you're new, their perception of your performance. So declaring it is the first step. So for those of you that have been in leadership for a while, this is important, but sometimes in our career we hit a wall where we're not really sure anymore. We're not really sure where we're going, or if it's going down the right path. Declare that. Go ask. Hey, James, I'm just curious, man. Where do you see my career going? Build that opportunity. The opportunity you're creating is actually the opportunity to have dialogue about your career. That's an opportunity. All right. Another way that you can build an opportunity for yourself is to get in and help with projects you've never done before. Volunteer for stuff that you've never done before, because it's going to put you in a different circle. You can't stay in this safe little bubble and expect that opportunities are going to show up on your door. It doesn't happen that way. So you're going to have to accept creating your own opportunity is going to take a lot of courage, and you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone. But I'll tell you right now, those have always led to something more in my career. I'll do the presentation, and then I go home. I'm like, man, what did I get myself into? I don't know. I don't even know how to do a presentation. I don't know how to use PowerPoint, but I learned. And I'm going to tell you that I acquired new skills doing things I've never done before. That acquiring of skills comes from getting outside your comfort zone, because then somewhere down the road, you're going to gain more and more skills that'll help you become a more successful leader, because you have a solid foundation of your leadership. So just as a recap, and I'm going to put them up on the board. So if you're watching YouTube, you'll see it. And for those of you listening, I'll just repeat it. Be objective about your own performance. That's step one. Step two, I want you to find a mentor in the next week. Find somebody that you trust, or find someone that's in a role that you really want to grow into. Find them and ask them, would you be willing to be my mentor, because I want to grow? Any leader that loves to develop people, oh man, we love that stuff. When someone says, I want to grow, heck yeah, I'm going to share with you, but I'm going to share a lot of stuff with you that you might not be ready for. So be ready, find a mentor. You can do that in less than a week. And number three, create your own opportunities for yourself. Declare what you would like to do. And it takes courage. I'm going to tell you right now, if you've never had that opportunity to speak to your supervisor or leader about this, it's going to be very, very nerve-wracking. So you need to prepare. You need to establish why you want to do this, why you're the best fit for this role. What can you bring to the table? You're going to have to assess your skill set and what you can do, and write them all out. Write them all out. I do this all the time. I write out, what am I good at? What am I struggling with? What are my opportunities? Because they will ask you about your opportunities too. Be prepared to have that conversation. Be prepared with your knowledge of your own performance, and then be prepared to gain some feedback. So I want to leave you with this, you guys. The foundation of your leadership and your growth always comes back to you being objective about where you're at in your career. It's always about you identifying your roadblocks. And I'm hoping that these 3 steps can at least give you the first kind of step in the next 30 days to get your arms back around your career or back to establishing you wanting to be a leader and letting others know what your intent is. Stay focused, stay committed to it, be humble. This is my last piece of advice. Be humble and really, truly listen to the feedback that's being given to you. And it may hurt. It may frustrate you. It may make you have second thoughts. But I'm going to tell you, it only gets harder. So if you're struggling with getting feedback right now, when you become a leader, that is all you're given is feedback consistently. So you can't internalize it. You can't let it hit you in the heart. You have to use your head on this one. Go home, think about it, sleep on it, come back the next day. I'm ready. I'm ready to play. What can I do? So stay focused, be humble, and I want you to get out of your comfort zone and go start making a difference and getting that feedback. It's the first step to help you go to where you want. Stay tuned for the next podcast. Always remember, awaken the leader inside.